This series of modules has been prepared to promote a greater awareness and understanding of athletic trainer professional responsibilities. You are now beginning Module 3, Certification Maintenance Requirements. Module 3 will examine the certification maintenance requirements, explain the emergency cardiac care requirement, define continuing education, explain BOC Central, provide information on self-assessment tools, explain resignation and reinstatement. As mentioned in Module 2, compliance with the standards of professional practice, emergency cardiac care, continuing education, and the certification maintenance fee are required to maintain BOC certification. The standards of professional practice was reviewed in detail in Module 2. We will now examine in more detail the other three components of the certification maintenance process: ECC, CE requirements, and the certification maintenance fee. Be certain to review the 2015 certification maintenance requirements for details about each requirement. This resource can be found on the BOC website. Athletic trainers need to be current with the ECC requirements throughout the reporting period. CEUs are not awarded for ECC. ECC certification must include the following: adult and pediatric CPR, second rescuer CPR, AED, airway obstruction, and barrier devices. Once ECC certification is complete, a certificate or card must be retained. Not all instructor cards are acceptable. Currently, only the American Heart Association Basic Life Support Healthcare Provider card is acceptable for instructors. Online ECC courses are only acceptable if skills are demonstrated and tested in person by a qualified instructor. Acceptable ECC providers are those adhering to the most current international guidelines for cardiopulmonary resuscitation and emergency cardiac care. Please check with your ECC provider to be certain any course you take includes all of the required components. You can find a list of acceptable providers on the BOC website. CE requirements are intended to promote continued competence, development of current knowledge and skills, and enhancement of professional skills and judgment. CE activities must focus on increasing knowledge, skills, and abilities related to the practice of athletic training. Athletic trainers must complete a predetermined number of CEUs during the certification maintenance period. The current period ends December 31st, 2015. AT certified before 2014 must complete 50 CEUs, which must include at least 10 EBP CEUs. AT certified in 2014 must complete 25 CEUs, which must include at least 5 EBP CEUs. CEUs are calculated as 1 contact hour equal to 1 CEU. Currently, there are 5 acceptable categories for continuing education. EBP category CEUs are BOC pre-approved programs for live events or home study courses that meet basic EBP principles. Category A CEUs are live or home study courses that are available through BOC approved providers. These home study courses are individually approved by BOC. Category B CEUs are earned through individualized professional development, such as presenting to other ATs, authoring a journal article, or volunteering as an exam item writer. Category C CEUs are earned by successful completion of college-university courses. Category D CEUs are earned through attendance at a professional program that is sponsored by groups other than BOC-approved providers. These programs must be intended for the healthcare provider, and athletic trainers must be a target audience. All continuing education activities must fall within the domains of athletic training. Different types of activities eligible for evidence-based category can be found on the BOC website. BOC-approved EBP live events and home study programs can also be found on the BOC website. The BOC has created a running list of BOC EBP programs. The list of approved programs helps athletic trainers to be certain programs they attend are BOC approved and eligible for EBP category CEUs. Approved programs are updated monthly. Only these programs are eligible for EBP category continuing education. Athletic trainers looking to find BOC approved CE programs can do so by reviewing the list of BOC approved providers, Category A live events, and home study courses available on the BOC website. The lists are updated as organizations and continuing education programs are approved. ATs who submit CE requirements after the December 31st deadline may be subject to an audit. The BOC also audits a random percentage of ATs. Audited ATs are required to submit documentation such as certificates of completion and ECC cards for the BOC to review. Required documentation for individual CE events is outlined in the Certification Maintenance Requirements document. Remember to keep your original documentation for at least 2 years after the recertification reporting period ends. This includes expired ECC cards. The certification maintenance fee supports the administrative, disciplinary, and professional development activities required of the BOC to retain NCCA accreditation and assure protection of the public. Maintaining accreditation is necessary for continued recognition of ATs by employers and regulators that identify the BOC exam and CE requirements in their state statutes, rules, and regulations. Every AT is required to pay the certification maintenance fee, which has been assessed since 1992. The BOC certification maintenance fee is an annual $50 fee. This requirement is separate from NATA membership dues. The BOC offers a discounted rate to NATA members, which must be paid at the time of NATA membership payment. The discounted fee rate is $34. Newly certified athletic trainers will have the certification maintenance fee waived for the year certification is granted. Although this is a bit confusing, the bottom line is that the BOC and state regulatory agencies function independently of each other and have independent recertification or renewal requirements. Many states require CE as part of their regulatory renewal process. So it is your responsibility to understand the difference between the amount, types, and requirements for CE from the BOC and each applicable state regulatory agency. As you know, the #1 source for accurate information regarding your BOC recertification requirements is through the BOC directly, so be certain by checking the BOC website at bocatc.org or contact the BOC for any recertification questions or concerns. Every athletic trainer has a personal profile in BOC Central. BOC Central is an online credentialing management system that houses personal exam and certification information for each candidate and athletic trainer. Candidates and athletic trainers can access their personal profile through the BOC website. BOC Central allows you to manage your personal information, such as updating your contact information, communicate with the BOC by sending us an inquiry, request verification of your certification for state regulation or employment, pay certification maintenance fees, and log and track continuing education activities. The Professional Development Needs Assessment is a tool offered by the BOC. The PDNA is intended to empower ATs of all experience levels to engage in self-reflection with the goal of assessing professional development needs across the domains of athletic training as defined in the BOC Role Delineation Study and Practice Analysis. ATs can use the results of the PDNA to form the framework for a professional development plan, identify professional growth opportunities, identify gaps in knowledge and skills for a specific practice area, link current skills and abilities to critical job skills and performance plans, assess learning needs prior to transitioning from one area of practice to another, and assess learning needs prior to re-entering the workforce from a prolonged absence from practice. The BOC understands that life is dynamic and wants you to be informed of options regarding certification. Important policies such as the resignation and reinstatement policies are just a click away at bocatc.org. Should you ever need to step away from the profession, you have the option to resign your credential. If you ever find yourself in expired certification status and wish to have your certification reinstated, you will need to comply with the reinstatement application and comply with the current reinstatement process. The requirements for successful return to a certified status are based on the total number of years your status has been expired. There are 3 options for certification reinstatement based on the duration of inactivity. It is your duty to understand these options and the consequences of failing to meet these policy standards. The resignation and reinstatement policies can be assessed in the BOC website. Be certain and know that you have options. Thank you for taking the time to view this program. Remember, the BOC is your best resource. Don't hesitate to contact us and we will be happy to assist you.